Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Let's Max Warframe, where it's finally time to take a look at my most requested weapon in recent videos, and that is the day 300 login reward, the Zenistar. Unfortunately, I missed a whole bunch of days due to being ridiculously busy, so I'm a bit behind on the login reward stuff sadly. However, I finally got my hands on it, so what do I actually have my hands on? Well, the base damage of 130 is actually the third highest base damage of all the melee weapons in the game. However, rather uniquely, all of that damage comes in the form of pure heat. The supplemental stats from there, they're alright, 5% crit chance, 200% multiplier. It's not really strong enough for blood rush body count. However, it does come with a 25% status chance, which is easily enough to get weeping wounds working on there, or for dual stats to have a big effect if you want to go that route. The rest of it is kind of average really. 0.83 attack speed really isn't the fastest, although you do now have Prime Fury to help that out a lot. Although, in addition to this, it does stagger on all normal attacks, so that's pretty nice. However, this weapon isn't really about the standard attacks. The Zenistar has a very, very special charge attack. When you do a charge attack with this thing, you throw out the disc. It travels 9 meters, where it sets up almost like the Azimazult fire. However, it has an area of effect that will deal heat damage to any enemy in it for 45 seconds. The range of the disc gun mod is 4 meters. However, that range can be boosted with the use of range mods like Primed Reach. The weapon itself gets an attack speed buff when the disc is deployed as well. While it's deployed, the disc shifts its damage focus into being primarily slash, which is very, very nice for those slash procs, and then has a crazy high status chance to go with it, to constantly proc things like slash, but also the elemental combo that's on the weapon. Now there's a couple of really cool little tricks to the Zenistar's disc. Really takes it into a rather insane new level. First one is the disc can be controlled by Ivara's Navigator. The duration on the disc is actually removed, so as long as you have energy you can control it. It boosts the damage by a ton, plus getting all those sweet stealth XP bonuses, so this is one very good way of using it. Just be aware that it's not going to open doors for you, so if you come up against a closed door, you're going to have to stop using it. Second one is a trick that I showed off actually in my Wukong video with other weapons, and that is that enemies get affected by finisher damage from Wukong's status procs when he's in Cloudwalker, and this works with the Zenistar's disc. You can shred really high level enemies with it, or you can just sleepwalk your way through a defense mission, especially if you combine it with something like gas procs, which can stack time and time again. And then you can stay in Cloudwalker. You'll get all of those procs, they'll all do finisher damage. It's incredible and definitely insanely strong. If you play it that way, it's actually one of the strongest melee abilities in the game. But you also have a pretty nice synergy with Sarin. It's a frame, honestly, I often forget exists. I know I'm going to get a bit of hate for that one, but I forget she actually exists. A lot of Sarin players, though, will use her Molt, stack up a load of spores, and then hit it with an AoE weapon to release them all. However, with the Zenistar's disc out, they will pop immediately, allowing for a constant barrage of spores going out from Sarin. It's a pretty decent little bit of synergy there to boost her damage output, but it also allows you to shoot as well without having to worry about manually popping all those spores on Molt. So, in terms of builds, I have two very distinct builds. The first one, the first thing I did was actually add 3 former. We got 2 Vs and a dash on there. First build is very much focused around using the Zenistar as a straight melee while fighting inside of the charge attack. So we have Tempo Royale in there as our stance, easily my favourite heavy blade stance. Then we've got the Primed Pressure Point, Prime Reach for range on both melee and charge attacks, Prime Fury for attack speed, Drifting Contact for increasing combo timer as well as our status chance. We've got a max rank life strike because I like channeling once for max health rather than a bit at a time. And then we've got 2 dual stats, one 90% elemental for elemental combos. Or you can go with straight 90% and then go with Weeping Wounds. I go with the dual stats because it works with the disc. It actually boosts the disc as well, whereas Weeping Wounds doesn't really. So gas for the proc though, that's ideal for this weapon. That's my personal preference. However, radiation also works really nicely. There is so much room for personal preference in terms of the elemental combos. Now the second build though, that is literally just built around building for the disc. If you're defending a location or whatever, then this build is really focused for that. I have Rending Crane on there this time around because the actual melee itself, to me, doesn't really matter. That's not the star of this build. Once again though, we've got Prime Pressure Point, Prime Fury, Prime Reach. Prime Fury helps with the actual charge attack time in the first place. Then we have Lasting Sting, a mod that I've never used before. However, it means that the status procs last even longer on the target, thus we do a lot more damage over time. Then we have 2 dual stat elementals, 2 90% elementals. In this case I've gone with full gas, however you can go whatever combo you want. You can go radiation viral, corrosive blast, there's a lot of room for manoeuvre. This disc build is insane, and used when, you know, if you use it with something like Wukong, it's one of the best scaling things in the game by far. It's absolutely crazy. So, do I like the Zenistar? Is it worth its spot as a 300-day login reward? I think you've probably guessed, but the answer is hell yes it is. The weapon itself is decent, probably on the same level as the Jack Tag as a straight melee weapon. The high base damage does mean it gets taken further than a lot of melees, especially since I love the damage output from Tempo Royale combined with the ground slam giving some crowd control at the end of it. But when you combine that with the charge attack, when it's synergized with some Warframe powers, it becomes one of the best scaling melees in the game. It really does become one of the best. But the thing is, the Zenistar disc is so versatile. Fit it for radiation for rad procs when the enemies run into it, blast procs so they always get knocked down, viral procs for reduced health, Gauss for insane toxin procs. It goes on and on, but that's without finisher damage with something like Cloudwalker. Combine it with Loki's radial disarm for them to run straight into it, or just generally against the infested. Chuck it down right next to a vortex. Chuck it down next to Mag's bullet attract. Or whatever it's called now. If you put the disc in the middle of that, it's again another fantastic way of using it. The Zenistar is a weapon that I avoided literally everything about until I actually got it, so I could do a review of my own thoughts without having it influenced by anyone else. I've actually still not watched any videos about it, to be honest, but it's been so much fun to do the testing here, and some of the ideas that I've had related to it I will be trying out in the future, and they are insane. You know me, I love unique mechanics, and in terms of that, the Zenistar has pretty much beaten everything hands down. The ability to throw out the disc to defend an objective, and carry on fighting with primary, secondary, or melee as well, I love that. It's gone up there as one of my favourite melees. So what do you guys think? You managed to get hold of it yet, or are you still a way off? Let me know in the comments below. Just a quick reminder, I am live from 8 AM till 10 AM GMT tomorrow, the morning of the 10th of November, for the Veterans Day stream over at www.twitch.tv/officialarmouredwarfare, raising money for the military charity Stack Up. I would love to see you all there, raising some money for a fantastic charity. Hope to see you all there. Feel free to smash that like button, subscribe if you like my content, and I shall see you in the next video.